Well, welcome to Review, Josh.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here, Jay.
Oh my God, you ruined my joke, you cat.
Jesus.
Actually, I should have it over by the microphone. All right, I'm good.
Wow.
Street trash.
Well, welcome to Review, Josh.
Hey, I'm excited to be here, Jay.
Yeah, this may be our first episode of Review that actually gets negative views.
Oh, it definitely will be.
This will be worse than a video with me and other Josh.
There's another Josh?
There's another Josh, and no one watches our episodes together.
Oh.
Because we talk about movies like Street Trash.
Did you do Possession?
We did Possession.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a great movie.
But your lowest viewed video?
Yeah. So we have a goal to reach, which is to get even less views than the Possession video.
So maybe the other Josh, myself, can now achieve that. That's kind of my goal here
We'll
today.
see.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking about a movie that is intentionally very off-putting, so it's only appropriate.
It's good.
It's hot out today, so.
Yeah, that's pretty warm as well.
Oh.
Street Trash.
Street Trash from 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Feels older. It feels like it should be from like 1981.
It does feel that way. I think it was shot. I think it was shot like in '85 or '86.
Okay.
Maybe '86. So it came out in '87. But yes, it does have that sort of look.
The early 80s grunge.
Yes.
Because I love that particular look in movies. The 80s New York, scummy New York, where everybody's filthy.
Yeah, like Maniac.
Maniac, movies like Chud.
Chud.
Early Frank Henenlotter movies.
And it comes out of the melt movie tradition.
But that's
Is that the idea?
I guess a genre. They call them melt movies. And there's, if you look up lists online of melt movies, you get a lot of different results. To me, it has to be a movie that is primarily about people melting to be a melt movie.
It has to be almost end-to-end melting. Meltification has to be happening during the film. There were some movies in there, The Blob, 1988.
That's
Fly.
less melting and more digesting, though. It's like the Blob is digesting people.
That's true. I mean, maybe the Blob itself is a melting. It's not really melting. It just exists as a gelatinous substance. But there's also the Fly. But that's more. Is he melting? I mean, his parts of his body are melting away.
No, he melts people with his vomit.
He does, but I don't. But it's not consistent. It's not the entire film. The Incredible Melting Man.
That is a melt film.
Now that's a film.
Yeah.
Street Trash is one, and I would also include Slime City.
Another grimy New York movie.
Yes, around the same time, maybe a little bit later.
I'm gonna fuck your ass up!
Was Slime City inspired by Street Trash? Was anything inspired by Street Trash?
Well, Street Trash was inspired by Kurosawa, interestingly.
That sounds like it would be a joke, but I think that's
It's not
true,
a joke,
right?
yeah.
What movie?
Well, Jim Miro, who directed this film, and we'll talk about him a little later, he's gone on to do quite well for himself. James Miro, he also goes by J. Michael Miro. I believe he has a number of different names because he sort of has distanced himself from this film, maybe wisely.
I can't imagine why.
But he did this as a short film. He was attending the School of Visual Arts in New York. And Roy Frumkes, who is the writer and producer of this movie, was a teacher or a professor at the School of Visual Arts. And Jim made the short film and then wanted to turn it into a feature. The short film was inspired by Kurosawa's little scene movie Dodes Kaden. It's early 70s Kurosawa. It's more of a funnier film. It's something funnier. It's like the Jar Jar Binks of Kurosawa movies. And Dodes Kaden, the film is about essentially a group of homeless, unhoused. I guess we should clear that up.
There's no way we're getting through this video unscathed. Everything about street trash is off-putting and offensive, so just shut the video off if you don't want to hear us talk about winos.
And bums.
Yeah.
Vagrants. Scum.
Yeah.
Scum of the earth. Lowlifes. We can't say any of that?
We're going to.
Mike, do you have one? Is there any other words I missed?
Hobo?
Hobo's
that's
a good
classic,
one. Yeah, hobo's a good one. Unhoused, because that's the problem. Hey, give him a house. Look, he's better already. Shit, give me a house. It'll clear up all my mental problems. Hey, look, I got a brand new kitchen. I'm fine. The voices are gone.
I don't have PTSD anymore.
Wow, look at that. I'm standing upright. I don't shit in the street anymore.
I'd like to know what you're doing with all that chicken in your pants.
Say what? What I'm doing is shopping.
But Dodes Caden is roughly a film about very poor people or homeless people that live in this junkyard type area.
Oh, wow.
And have built this little city for themselves. It's street trash, and I guess we should say what street trash is.
Sure.
What is this film, Jay?
Well, that is just like the Kurosawa movie now that you explain it. Well, I have we both come at this movie from different perspectives.
Yeah.
It's a movie I saw for the longest time. I'd seen it a few times, and I've always been fascinated by it, mainly for like the technical aspects of it, which we'll get into.
That's good.
I'd heard, obviously the poster, you have it on your shirt. It's a famous melting movie.
Yeah.
So I knew, before I saw it, I knew what it was about, which is this group of homeless people that start drinking this cursed liquor.
Tenafly Viper.
Tenafly Viper. It's been hidden in the basement, locked behind a wall of this little bodega for decades, 60 years or 80 years. The guy that runs the bodega just decides to start selling it to the winos.
Right.
And so they start drinking it and they start melting. Mm-hmm. And so I knew that's what the movie was about. I was like, oh, that sounds great. Like special effects movie, 80s grimy New York movie.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, and that's the setup for the movie. And then there's a middle 45 minutes of the movie that has nothing to do with the Viper alcohol or people melting. And then it comes back at the very end. And so I always thought the movie, I appreciated the technical aspects of it, but it never clicked for me because it felt so plotless and aimless. Mm-hmm. And then on this recent rewatch, it finally worked for me in a way that it never did before, when you kind of let go the idea that it's supposed to be a melting movie, because it really isn't. It's not a plot-driven movie. It's just kind of this portrait of this very specific time and this very specific place, and you're just sort of hanging out with these characters. It's like if Richard Linklater made a trauma movie.
That's it. That's a great description. But I think, and I had the same thing upon later viewing. Maybe a few weeks ago, I rewatched it. And because we both own this great
beautiful
Blu-ray that
Synapse
was put out.
Blu-ray, yeah.
Yeah, they did restore the print quite a bit several years ago. And I noticed that all of the stories do sort of connect at some point. There is this attempt to connect everything.
It's very loose. There's not like a driving narrative.
Right.
But it's there.
This recent viewing, I realized that there is, this is going to sound funny, there is a deeper narrative here, in the sense that this movie is about the effects of the Vietnam War.
Yeah, that's what stood out to me on this rewatch.
Right, so many of the homeless people, the bums in this movie,
the
scumbags in this film, are Vietnam vets. Mm-hmm. But it's not just about how the war affected them. It's not just about how disgraced or, they felt when they came back from the war. They were not welcomed back by their country. It's also about the effects on many other people around them, because you have the two semi-main characters, Freddie, who looks like Torgo from Manos. He wears the Torgo outfit.
Yeah, and that guy also worked on the effects for the movie.
He did the effects as well. And so that guy, Freddie, and his little brother, Kevin,
he looks like Ralph Macchio.
He does, discount Ralph Macchio. Yeah. But their story is that their dad was in the Vietnam War and either went crazy. There's a bit of dialogue that intimates that their dad went insane and that's why they ran away from home. So they're not really homeless as much as they are living on the streets temporarily. They're orphaned, maybe. I'm not sure how that goes, but
right. Yeah, and they kind of find this community in the back of like this junkyard.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about like the set design of some of that stuff. But that's your setup. Yeah, those are the characters that we're kind of entering this world through.
Yeah, it's the collision yard. By the way, director James Miro, that was his dad's shop. He owned that yard. He owned that junkyard.
Okay, that makes sense, because it's like, who else would give them permission to make this movie there?
Like if you go, oh, my dad has a junkyard. Well, let's figure out how to make a movie there. And they did. They sort of, the production design is incredible of some of the sets in that. But they sort of inhabit one part of the junkyard, and then the junkyard is lorded over by Bronson, who is a dishonorably discharged Vietnam vet who's done some very bad things to his fellow soldiers.
Yeah.
Like he cut off one of his buddy's legs, or cut has a knife, a femur bone knife, a human femur bone that is his dagger that he proudly wears on the side of his filthy trousers.
Just stabbing people with bones.
Yeah. But that's sort of the villain. He's not really. He's the villain. He's the guy that's lost his mind and is having flashbacks about Nam and still thinks he's the Kurtz. He's the Kurtz character.
Yes. Yeah.
I used to make women like you parade around the village bare pussy! Bitch!
He's lording over these people that do his bidding.
And it's interesting. I was looking up reviews of the movie because I was very curious to see what like a modern audience would think of a movie like this. So I was looking on Letterboxd at like recent reviews.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are like, oh, great cult classic, whatever, funny, weird movie.
Yeah.
But then you have those ones interspersed that are saying like, oh, it's offensive, it's making fun of homeless people. And that's another thing that clicked on me in this recent rewatch, is how it doesn't really feel like it is. It's sort of, I think the tone is kind of all over the place. There's some stuff in the movie that doesn't work for me as well when it's like overtly comedic. But a lot of the stuff with Bronson, it seems like it's kind of presenting him almost like non-judgmental. They're not like, look at this Looney Tunes, like he is crazy. And we perceive him as crazy, but the movie is kind of like not telling you how to feel.
Yeah.
Don't you ever bitch at me in front of the men again, do you hear me? I'll flat your ugly face.
There's the most interesting scene of the movie was the flashback with him in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Where we're seeing Vietnamese people coming towards him, and we're seeing his version of it, and they're like vampires.
Vietnamese vampires.
They're like monsters.
Yes.
And I think that's where people would say like, oh, the movie's racist, but it's like, no, it's not really making fun of any of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just kind of presenting it and not telling you how to feel.
Well, it's an interesting nightmare world sequence.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's really, it was a scene that I hadn't even really remembered from the last time I saw it, and it's the one that stuck out to me the most.
Yeah, it gives us a glimpse into Bronson's mind. Bronson is the junkyard king, played by the great Victor Noto, who interestingly enough, was a replacement actor. The previous actor that was playing Bronson didn't work out or was sort of belligerent. I guess they had a hard time working with whoever the other guy was, and thank God they brought in Vic Noto.
Maybe.
I think
that'd be
Vic
a bad
Noto's
character to be a method for.
Yeah, Vic is kind of. I mean, if you watch the documentary on this, the Meltdown Memoirs by Roy Frumkes, who is the guy that directed the Document of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's what Roy Frumkes, who wrote this film, that's what he's primarily known for.
The documentary about the making of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Right, which is a very popular, very well-made documentary.
Oh, it's great just to see all this behind-the-scenes footage. It's like great that someone was able to capture that on a movie that was so kind of like, there's all this amazing behind-the-scenes footage of them shooting in the mall.
Right.
And Roy Frumkes walking around the mall with George Romero. Chatting.
Yeah, it's great. And you'll see that in this as well. You'll see the audition, Vic Noto auditioning for Bronson. And they're in some small room where they're doing the auditions. Everyone's holding their script. And Vic ends up semi-strangling the poor kid that's just the reader. He like actually gets into it, and then at the very end he says, "Sorry about that. I'm not crazy. I apologize.
I'm not crazy. Not crazy. Sorry about that, man.
I was just, I was in the moment, whatever that is." And he's perfect in the film.
Yeah.
But that's kind of interesting because he's not really a villain per se. He is a damaged character who went through hell in Vietnam and is unable to let go of that. His parallel character is Bill the cop, Bill Janes.
Played by Bill the cop.
Played by Bill the cop.
An actual cop.
Real New York City cop. Bill Bill Cheppel, I think is his name.
You know, you're the type of cop that would use a traffic violation as a ruse to pull me over and rape me.
Baby, I ain't sure you don't got a cock.
And Bill is also, I believe, dishonorably discharged from Nam. There's some dialogue that suggests that he too did some things.
A lot of stuff in Nam that's like just like offhand comments here and there.
Yes.
It doesn't like focus on it aside from Bronson.
Yes, and I think in the better film, or the film that maybe has a little stronger narrative, we would have gotten a more interesting build-up between Bronson, the Junkyard King, and Bill the cop, because there is that somewhat of a build-up that they're going to fight each other.
Yeah.
But the payoff isn't as good. It's a great fight, but I would like that story of these two dishonorably discharged Vietnam vets that are going to settle some score. You know, maybe Bronson killed one of Bill's buddies in combat. Maybe that's the idea there.
Yeah.
Because
But also just seeing like the differences in the direction their lives have gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bill, the cop, is tired of working a desk job. I mean, he's just like this cop now, and he has some of the best dialogue in the movie, though.
Who found her?
It's on the chart.
Hey, come on. I read like old people fuck.
That's a great line. Hey, come on. I read like old people fuck.
Yeah, well, that's one of the charms of this movie is how New York it is.
Very.
These are all very New York. I love vulgar New York characters in movies, and it's chock full of them.
Shit. Slow shish kebab. Outstanding chow. Out fucking standing chow, man.
Just before that scene, or maybe when he comes out of the dream sequence, Bronson improvises an entire speech. There's this great speech where he's talking about his men being trapped in this firefight. And it's actually a tracking shot that goes around the camp, and we sort of see the fire going, and there's somebody humming, like this creepy humming. It's probably Wynette singing. But he improvised that whole. I was thinking of he's like the Robert Shaw of street trash. This is his Indianapolis speech.
Yeah.
And if the audio were better, that's the only problem I have with this version.
I mean, that might be just the source.
You're probably right.
Yeah,
You're
that
probably
might just be
right.
the way the movie was put together.
They had no idea.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, it's good enough.
They had an expert camera operator and cinematographer, but who knows who they got for sound.
But he improvises it, and it's really good.
Yeah.
You know. But even Vic Noto said, I still don't know who the hell Bronson was. I have no idea where he comes from. I was just asked to play the character. I don't know.
Which is funny because he feels like the most fully formed character in
the
movie.
Yeah.
And that's talking again, like kind of if we're talking about like themes of the movie, there is this thing about like masculinity. Because you have him versus Bill the cop.
Yeah, right.
They both want to be like the alpha male.
Yep.
Bronson's in charge of the homeless camp.
Yeah.
So that's an angle to it. So it's interesting that he didn't really understand the character.
I think he just doesn't. I don't think he knows what's going on around him generally.
Yeah.
But both of them hate women. Both those characters hate women because Bill the cop. This is after Roy Frumkees gets the slime on his face from the homeless guy in his. I got a condominium. Look at me up here. This is beautiful.
Here's to you, pussy.
He comes running across the street, and then some woman starts complaining to Bill the cop.
No, he doesn't want to hear it.
Can I talk now? Why don't you do something for this man and stop following the rules?
Lady, what's the difference between you and a tape recorder except that I can't shut you off?
And Bill's two great lines are, and I feel like a lot of the extras are just real people.
Oh,
There's so
sure.
many real people just hanging out, really enjoying themselves. And Bill says, lady, what's the difference between you and a tape recorder except I can't shut you off? And then a few seconds later he goes, baby, I'm not even sure you don't got a cock. And this one guy in the background goes, oh shit, oh no. One of my favorite moments. What's wrong with Bill the cop? He's got a lot of aggression. Oh, now how did you first find this film? That's what I'm curious about.
I think I first heard about it from one of Lloyd Kaufman's books, because Lloyd Kaufman wrote a series of books about filmmaking. Lloyd Kaufman from Troma.
Sure.
And he kind of holds a grudge against this movie.
Right.
Because people often confuse it for a Troma movie.
Give me some breathing. Get the fuck back.
And he doesn't like that. And it makes sense because, it's gross, seedy New York, has the same effects artist that worked on The Toxic Avenger.
Jennifer Aspinall.
Jennifer Aspinall, who's gone on to have a great career.
Mad TV, many years on SNL, multi-Emmy Award winner.
Yeah.
Fantastic effects artist.
Yes, especially in this era of these low-budget movies.
So
So she did the effects for it, and then some of the, like Pat Ryan, who runs the Junkyard in this, he was in some early Trauma movies.
Oh, the great R.L. Ryan?
R.L. Ryan.
Yeah, R.L.
AKA
Ryan.
Pat
Ryan, yeah.
Great performance. He always stood out to me in The Toxic Avenger. And that's the difference between, I think the real reason Lloyd Kaufman is upset at this movie is because they made something that feels like a Trauma movie, but technically good.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a long, complicated history with my feelings on Trauma.
Yeah.
But I think even people that really like Trauma have to admit that those movies are garbage from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
They're not well made. They're not well shot. Every character is acting like Lloyd Kaufman.
Yes.
Very over the top, very silly. And that's why Pat Ryan always stood out to me in The Toxic Avenger, because he's given like a real performance as the corrupt mayor. He's great in that movie.
He's a really good actor, too.
He's great in this.
Yeah.
Don't you have a heart under there somewhere?
Why should I? They're all bums.
So I think that's where I first heard about it. Like, oh, Street Trash, this Trauma type movie.
Okay.
And then you watch the movie, and it's the director
Jim Miro.
Jim Miro.
Jim Miro, yeah.
Miro. He went on to have a great career as a Steadicam operator and a cinematographer.
For James Cameron.
Every big director, James Cameron, Martin Scorsese,
Like, he
Kevin
shot
Costner.
a lot. He just was. I mean, he's done a lot of cinematography for Costner. Open Range, which it was a great film. I'm waiting for that to come out. I don't know if we'll ever see a 4K of that film. It's a brilliant film. But he also did Horizon recently, Horizon Part 1. And this is the guy that made Street Trash. You know, but you got to remember, Jim Miro was, I think, 20 years old or 21 years old when he made this film.
Yeah. You look at the behind-the-scenes footage from the movie, and he looks like he's like a baby.
They're very, very
so
young. Most of the crew looks like that.
Yeah, and this is a movie you watch it, and you're like, this is definitely made by young people.
Yeah, so many people came out of this film. There were certain other people that worked on this film.
Well, I was watching the documentary.
Yeah.
And it was like a jump scare where they cut to one of the production assistants on the movie, and it's Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
They got him back for the documentary. The documentary is probably 20 years old at this point, maybe older. But it just cuts to him. It doesn't set anything up. They're not like, we had a young production assistant that went on to have a illustrious Hollywood career. It's nothing. It just cuts to Bryan Singer.
He's just there.
It's like, oh God.
Well, Bryan Singer is green screened. It's like he's shot against a green screen. It looks like he's on location somewhere else, and he can't be bothered to come out
he could have been
do
on
this.
set for a movie. That's the other thing, too,
Yeah.
is the director of this went on to be the Steadicam operator for X-Men 2. So in this movie, Bryan Singer's working for him, and then later
So
he's
Miro
working for Bryan
worked
Singer.
on X-Men 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an incredible career for that guy.
And well, especially, it makes sense, too, thinking about X-Men 2, like the opening of that movie with Nightcrawler, and they're going through the White House.
Yeah.
It's all these, like, flowing camera shots. It looks like Street Trash.
Yeah, it's really good.
In a different context.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the camera movement.
I was going to say it is an art film, and what I mean by that is it is truly made by artists.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can. That's the other
You know?
difference from Trauma is you can tell there's a lot of care put in every shot, because he has a history. He understands how to use the Steadicam.
Right.
Like every shot in this movie is this beautiful moving. The opening, like right off the bat,
The opening
of
title
it,
sequence is brilliant.
which is the older brother, Torgo.
Yes, Torgo.
What it looks like Torgo.
I have to get away from the people.
Yeah.
I'm running. Yeah, so
It's
Torgo.
a whole thing where he's stealing and people are chasing him. He runs into it, and it's just all these like beautiful flowing camera shots.
Yeah, gorgeous shots of the city, and I forgot who did the actual cinematography, because Jim Miro was just directing and only doing camera on this, right? But the guy that did the cinematography in the documentary talks about how they saturated the colors, or they kind of bumped up the colors a bit, because everything in this movie has this kind of really colorful palette. You see, even though it's grimy, and it is New York of a certain era, and the locations are incredible, not just the junkyard, but different buildings, boarded up buildings. There's one abandoned lot where there's the character that goes to the bathroom, the famous scene where one of the homeless guys goes into like this little house. Looks like Evil Dead. They do the Steadicam shots through the different doors opening.
Yeah.
I mean, to find these locations, you would have to either go build them now on a soundstage, or you would have to do it like green screen. But to capture New York at that time was really something special. And they purposely bumped up the colors on that to give it this sort of surreal quality. And that goes with the makeup too. That's why I think the makeup and the effects kind of elevate themselves beyond Troma.
Yes.
Because I think Jennifer Aspinall's conceit was each character, when they drink the Tenafly Viper, 30 proof, buck a bottle for this easily. Every time they drink it, depending on their personality or what terrible things they've done, they will each die in a different way. Because you notice that each person, they don't just melt, some people explode. Other times you can tell they ran out of money, so like the guy that runs the bodega, they just sort of pour some melty stuff on his head.
That's the weakest melt in the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, each melt is like a constructed sequence.
Yeah.
It's not just like they hired someone to do an effect shot. It's like the opening one, the famous one, the toilet one.
Yeah, that's the one that's on the cover of the movie. That's the poster. There's a lot of interpretations of this specific scene.
Yeah, but it's like every shot is an advancement in the effects, where it's like you have to plan all these shots out in this sequence.
Yeah, but then the final sequence is this puppet they've built of his head coming out of the toilet. And it's a very weird sequence. They kind of hold on it a little too long, but
no, they hold on at just the right amount of time. That's the thing, it's like this is after Toxic Avenger, and it's such a step up in terms of the effects work.
And that's
but
why,
it's kind of a combination of everyone working together.
Yes.
Where it's like, it's not, I mean, her effects not that her effects in the Toxic Avenger are necessarily bad.
Right.
But they are just kind of shot indifferently.
Yes.
And here it's like, it's clearly a collaboration.
Oh, yeah.
Between everybody working together, so each shot informs the next.
Yep.
And it's a whole sequence of events that is
it feels like that with
clearly
everybody.
planned.
It feels like that with the actors. It feels like that with the crew.
So there I am, freezing to death, this crap coming out of me, and after about 3 or 4 gallons of KY jelly being pumped through me, I felt like a tampon. I remember my double was a midget.
I think where the silliness aspect creeps in and some of the more cheesier things that you mentioned don't really work, I think that's the Roy Frumke's thing that's in his script. I think that's more Roy Frumke's. You know, he's kind of that guy. He's a little wackier, you know. But because
that's the one of the famous scenes of the movie is where a character gets his penis chopped off, and he chases everyone else around as they play keep away with his chopped off dick.
Yeah.
And there's goofy music playing.
Right.
Yeah, it's very corny and silly, and that's like, if people know this movie, they know that scene.
Right.
It's probably my least favorite scene of the movie, because the rest of it, like I said, presents things very almost matter-of-factly, where it's not telling you how to feel, and that feels, look how silly we are, that whole sequence.
I think the problem starts right when the guy gets his dick ripped off. It's Bronson. Bronson is choking out Freddy, aka Torgo. Through a wall, there's a trickle of urine. Oh, God. Sorry, there's a trickle of urine that starts to come through the wall and hit Bronson in the face. So his solution is to reach through the hole in the wall and pull the guy's penis off.
Yeah.
Useless ass shit.
Now, all of that works for me.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you describing it sounds better than it is presented in the actual movie.
Well, that part is
Up
good.
until that point.
No,
it's
that
good.
that part is great.
Yeah.
Where it becomes Troma-esque is they cut to the reaction of the man on the other side of the wall whose penis is just pulled off, and that actor decides to do this.
Yeah. That's the Lloyd Kaufman acting. If you watch a Troma movie, everybody acts like Lloyd Kaufman.
This kind of
They're
weird,
making goofy faces, crossing eyes.
Right.
And it stands out so much in this movie because the rest of the movie doesn't have that
It's true.
kind of style.
So she ain't no bathing beauty. So what? She's better than most of the pussies running around here.
Another storyline that pops up out of nowhere, which is the mob boss,
Yes.
played by Tony Darrow.
You saw with me 100 fucking times. Why didn't you come in and call me, you fucking imbecile? Drinking on a fucking job and eating my chicken. You're a fucking dead man, you fucking rat.
That's a great performance, too.
Now, this is Tony Darrow's first film, and people will know Tony Darrow from his later movies. I mean, he was in Goodfellas.
I know, but this is the middle of fucking summer. What am I gonna do with fur coats?
He was in Bullets Over Broadway. He was on The Sopranos. Tony is still out there. I think he's 85 years old. He's still doing maybe a nightly sort of vaudeville show somewhere in Jersey. You can go see him live doing some comedy shtick.
That's the thing about this
you know?
cast is you look them up on IMDb, and everyone, you click on their profile, and it's either a long list of character
Yeah.
actor credits, or you click on their profile, and it's street trash.
Right.
And that's it.
Bill the Cop, street trash.
That's it.
Nothing. But you know.
And they're all great, though. Like, a lot of them feel like there's the older guy with kind of the gap in his front teeth.
When you think right, then you'll understand. And when I tell you, then your thinking ain't gonna be so right.
I'm gonna tell you, and then when I tell you, you're gonna be so right. I think you're ready. I think the anvil's hot.
But yeah, that's like, it almost feels like that's just that guy.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
an actual performance, but there's a lot of people in this movie that feel like that, where it's like, oh, that's just them.
Well, we should talk about Tony Darrow and his sort of partner in this film, James Lawrence.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'd rather be dead than wear this fucking monkey suit. I look like Bullwinkle.
And James, of course, went on. This is James, I think, his first film.
He doesn't, I think has more like recent credits, but there's a period of time where it's like just a couple early movies, like
Yeah.
New York movies like this. He's the star of Frankenhooker, which is
Yeah.
a genuinely funny performance
Yeah.
in Frankenhooker. I think he's great in that.
I want to apologize to everybody here, please. I'm going to put everybody back together, I promise you.
And then he has one really, really funny scene in RoboCop 3, I think,
Yeah.
where his car gets destroyed.
But most importantly, he was in the Jerky Boys movie.
Yes, he was. Does he play
He
Brett?
plays Brett
He's
Weir.
Brett Weir?
Which
Yeah.
was, if you know the Jerky Boys, that was just a character name that they would have on their albums.
Yeah.
Andy, may I help you?
Yeah, let me speak to Brett Weir.
Who's calling?
Is he in?
Yeah, who's calling?
Look, Jerky, I don't need to talk to you.
But in the movie, we get to see the real Brett Weir.
And that
It's
was
James Lorenz.
So you have to understand, that was really exciting for us when we were younger because we only heard about Brett Weir.
You don't need to talk to me?
Get Brett Weir, I said.
Brett Weir was spoken about in hushed tones. Brett Weir, give me Brett Weir, right? That was the guy they always referred to. Wow, Tony and James Lorenz together are a comedy duo. In fact, they wrote additional scenes or let them just improvise because they're so good together. And they've done other movies together. I think there was a movie that James Lorenz did with Sandra Bullock called Me and the Mob or something like that. Yeah, he's dating, he has a sex scene with Sandra Bullock where she's riding him, having sex, and breaking up with him at the same time.
Oh my God.
And then she breaks up with him and then gets off of him, and as she's getting off of him, James Lawrence says, oh, it's sensitive, it's sensitive. One of my favorite lines.
Sensitive.
I know.
But anyway, those
That's
two
such a
yeah.
particular thing that no one's going to understand that you just did an amazing James Lorenz impression.
Oh, it's sensitive, it's sensitive.
Jesus, my mother weeps when I go home because I work for you. She weeps.
I hope she's got a black dress because she's gonna need it.
These performances could only have been done by these people. Some of these people, as you said, never acted again. And it's kind of something that I think a more seasoned actor just couldn't pull off. There's just, it's they would give a good performance, but it's not the same thing. When you capture someone that's so inexperienced at it, it's somehow better and adds to the flavor of this kind of film.
That's what I've always said about the early John Waters movies too.
Yeah.
Where it's like once he started using like movie stars, that can work as like gimmick casting, but when you look at those early films, like you can't get somebody else to play an Edith Massey type role.
Oh, a Halston! How current! I'm going to try this one on too, and I'll be right back. Oh, this place is glamorous.
She's not a traditionally good actor, but she's perfect for what she's used for. In
well,
his
because they're
movies.
not self-aware.
Yeah.
Actors are too self-aware of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The best actors can lose themselves completely and just be in the moment. But even then, there's also like recognition. We know who they are.
Yeah.
If you see a famous person in a movie like this, it doesn't quite work as well.
Yeah, you see these people, where did they find them?
Yeah,
It has
and I
that
mean,
quality.
Well, what you staring at, bitch?
You're robbing the store, young man. And I'm telling the manager.
Yeah, you do that. Oh, wrinkle honky motherfucker.
my best friend, I guess I could tie this all into Street Trash, because my best buddy at the time, Matt Lodi, was a sports reporter in Cleveland for many, many years. And unfortunately, he passed away several years ago from cancer. But Matt and I bonded over Street Trash. Matt's dad was a police officer and used to get us into these movies for free. So I don't know how that worked. He would just flash his
the
badge.
badge?
He would. He'd do the flip though. He'd go,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they're fine. So we got to see all these free movies because of the badge. So we used to go to this theater, the York Theater, which is now, I think it's now a church. They just kept the theater and it's become a church. It might be an abandoned building now, but anyway, the other thing we used to do is go to the video store. And Street Trash was one of those movies that you just found. You happened upon it. Nobody told you about Street Trash.
Nobody recommended it.
Never even heard of it. And I was working at a video store called Movie World, a world of entertainment. And the cool thing about Movie World was that inside the store, they built what was called the Castle of Horror. It was out of plaster and chicken wire, and it was made to look like the facade of the front of a castle.
Oh, wow.
In really cheesy font letter, I think there were plastic letters, it says Castle of Horror on the front as you went in case you forgot where you were going. But that's where I saw Street Trash.
Okay.
And when I worked at that video store, I used to put the VHS copy of Street Trash by my register, right? But I found a sticker that said hot. like a hot release, and I slapped it on the front. And I got so many people to rent that movie. I didn't tell them what it was about.
Hey, Steve. Steve, watch out for that. Hey, oh, Christ.
Well, so you were like the owner of the liquor store in the movie, where he puts the Viper right next to the register.
I was like, Street Trash, $1 a bottle for this. $1.
Fuck, not bad. I thought you G's usually try to make more money than that.
Oh, you fucking bastard.
Yeah, I thought you Jews usually tried to make more than that. Ah, fuck you, Freddie. Hey, you just want my one-eyed Wonder Woman. Your Wonder Woman's been dead for 30 years. What fucking dialogue is that? How's your daughter doing? Ah, you'll never know.
How's your daughter?
You'll never know.
Place looks cleaner than usual.
Yeah, I swept it out once.
They're doing bits. They're doing vaudeville in this movie. But that's
local
how,
flavor, the characters. That's the environment they live in.
It's something. It's elevated beyond the trauma shtick. But that's how I found the movie. And Matt and I watched this. We must have watched this movie 50 times, maybe 100. I don't know. Every time we got together, we watched the movie to the point that we could quote it verbatim, as if it was like our own Rocky Horror Picture Show. We would get together and watch this movie, and whenever I would see him, even after I moved to Los Angeles, I would fly back to Cleveland and visit. And when I would first see him, we would reenact the scene where Bronson is pushing on some guy's car hood. It's this montage where all the filth, all the scumbags, the homeless people, they're doing the window washing thing, which was like a big thing back then. They'd come up and clean your window and ask for money.
I don't want you near my fucking car. Get out of here.
So Bronson is just standing out there at some intersection, and my friend and I would reenact the scene where Bronson starts pushing on the guy's hood. Then he plays with the windshield wiper.
How you doing? I'm a G3 at Fort Swansworth on weekends, the reserves.
And then I'd always play Bronson, and I'd lean in.
Can you get this spot
Get
here?
him away from the car.
Make up the fucking mind. Let's go.
Yeah, hey, could you just get this spot right here? And then you have to grab him by the shirt and go, make up your fucking mind, let's go. And then that's pretty much what we do.
We
do that
slam
every
each
single
other's
time.
head through the front windshield,
Through the front
though, right?
Which, by the way, that shot is really cool.
Oh, sure.
Because you don't see the guy get thrown into the windshield, but it's basically they took a pair of glasses that the driver was wearing, put them on the camera.
It's like a wacky point of view
to
shot.
POV.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know, and they're trying really interesting things out.
Get away! Get away! Shit! Get away!
Mike Lackey, who plays Freddie Torgo, I follow Mike Lackey on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Mike Lackey was an effects guy.
I like Mike Lackey, but he's an obnoxious little scumbag. I guess maybe he needed a swift kick in his ass, or he grew up a little bit. I don't know. Hopefully, But I like the guy anyway.
But more importantly, he was a comic book artist.
Oh.
He actually wrote a lot of comics for Marvel, I believe, in the 80s.
Okay.
And very interesting guy, very pleasant guy. He drew and wrote the Street Trash comic book a few years ago. And it's really, really well done. It's gorgeous. I bought it when my buddy Matt was sick at the time and going through chemotherapy. I sent that to him, and he was just elated. It was like, look, dude, it's still going. They're making. I sent him one of those shirts too. Like I think I got him the yellow one. He was like, where are you getting these? And I'm like, no, man. There's like this weird, like Cavity Colors selling Street Trash shirts. I was like, uh-oh.
Well, Street Trash, we were talking about this off camera, but you would call it a cult movie. It is a cult film, but it's not when you think of like cult movies like Rocky Horror Picture Show or like Repo Man or something. So even in the world of cult movies, this one's kind of like a lower rung one.
It's true.
It's like an underdog, even in that kind of subgenre.
Which is strange because I think the people who know about it are mostly filmmakers and creative people because it is very influential. Like if you're an artist of any sort and you watch this film at the right time in your life, it really is. It does have an impact on you.
Dad really didn't let you watch Godzilla movies?
You were doing the backstroking his balls, don't you remember?
But there are scenes that are funny and genuinely funny in the movie, in a not like the keep away with the dick scene, but just like character-driven scene because you're just like watching these characters.
Yeah.
My favorite is the scene where I can't think of the character's name, but he's got the gas mask and he goes into the.
That's Bert.
Bert. And he goes into the little corner store and just shoving raw chicken down his pants. And gets into a whole confrontation with
the little old lady calls the manager.
You're robbing the store, young man, and I'm telling the manager.
That little old lady, by the way, I recognized her, and it was the way she was delivering her lines.
Yeah.
I was like, where do I know her from? And I looked it up, and it's Divine's mom in Polyester.
Yes, that is. Oh my God.
I knew it specifically. The way she talks in Polyester, she has a line where she's like, "You always retained your fluids."
That's her.
Good Lord, Francine. Don't you know it's bad luck to let retarded people in your home? Call me a cab this instant.
I was like, that's her. It has a little confrontation with her, and just the way the banter between, what's his name, Bert?
It's Bert, yeah.
And the guy working at the grocery store is so funny.
Now you taking her word over mine. Now that's discrimination. Now why don't you just pull down your pants so we can all see the lily white paint on your Haitian black ass?
One of my favorite scenes involving Bert, when he comes back with the chicken that he's stolen, because Bert ultimately decides to just stomp out of the store.
He just leaves and no one stops him.
Bert's
he walks through the window. He walks through the glass door.
Through the glass door, yes.
There's this great shot.
He says, watch this one now. And he puts the bag over his head and then walks out. The bag being like some kind of protective thing.
I guess, yeah.
And then
So
that shot you're talking about where he...
That great low-angle shot on the sidewalk where you just see like pieces of raw chicken falling out of his pants.
Yeah.
Walking down the sidewalk.
And then he goes back to the tire house and they enjoy the chicken meal.
Yeah.
But at that point is when Bert introduces his special homebrew that he's made.
Oh, Jesus, did you piss in this or something? Oh, just a little. Thin it out, you know.
Would you piss in this or something? And Bert says, well, just a little to thin it out, you know? Their little house, their beautiful house that is made from tires.
Yes.
Freddie and his brother Kevin live in this incredible tire home which is really well designed.
With these wonderful little gaps that make windows.
Yes.
There's a great exterior shot with light blasting through it.
And the front door is a car door.
Yeah, you got to crawl
You have
through
to
the
crawl
car.
through it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really well thought out.
It's great. Great production design.
The artist, the conceptual artist for this film, when you see his early drawings for this, they're almost identical to what they ended up shooting. His artwork is really, really interesting. It's not like, I don't know, it's something I've never seen before. It's a different style, but his depiction of the pile of tires is so beautiful, and they made it look so great. I mean, again, it speaks to how much thought went into this film. It wasn't like a slapdash affair. The other reason it's so good, I think, is, or it looks so good, is that they had an unusual amount of time to make this film. I think they shot it in like 100 days or something.
Oh my God.
They had a lot of pre-production time. They had a lot of rehearsal time. You know, and it shows.
Yeah. Well, we should, while we're talking about the tire huts, we should mention an aspect of the movie that will be the most off-putting to people.
Yeah.
We mentioned earlier, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but we did mention that Bryan Singer worked on the movie. This is totally unrelated. There is a fair amount of sexual assault in this film.
Yeah.
I don't know why Bryan Singer made me think of that.
There's a lot of abuse toward women, particularly on the part of Bronson.
Yeah.
So she ain't no bathing beauty. So what? Better than most of the pussy running around here.
That's another performance we should talk about, that lady.
Yeah.
She is so good.
So mad. Can't even fuck me anymore, you bastard.
And that's another one where it's like you see her in this and you're like, that was probably just her. But then you watch the behind the scenes. No, she's a very like articulate.
She is.
Just like a normal lady, but she's very unique looking. Like her face is very unique. And her body shape,
very
she's like
thin.
in like dirty underwear through the whole movie and just covered in filth.
She's a fantastic actor. I believe she's a writer now. And she gave this character a whole backstory. And to her credit, the character's credit is listed as Wynette. Instead of, I guess there's Wino and Wynette. But at some point, Bronson refers to her as Sarah.
Oh, okay.
After she drinks the liquor and starts squawking like a pterodactyl for some reason. He goes, Sarah, what the fuck is happening? And then she sort of rips off her own breasts.
Yeah, her breast starts to melt.
Yeah,
and it's
then melts on her.
There's a great shot, when she's melting, she's like laying back on the car, and
yeah.
it's like she's draped down like melting ice cream
it's very
or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
But there is one scene in the film where the movie takes a very dark turn, and it's the one moment where either you're going to stick with the movie for the rest of the film, or you're probably going to tap out.
Yeah, well, it's like I was saying earlier about the movie not being too judgmental, because it's essentially our protagonists who we're on their side,
right?
Torgo and his brother.
Yes,
and then he finds what's the mob boss guy? The actor's name.
So Tony Darrow plays Nick Duran, the mob boss.
Yeah,
and Torgo finds the mob boss's girlfriend. Or wife, I think it's his girlfriend.
I think it's just a girlfriend.
Vomiting out behind the restaurant that the mob boss runs. Freddie, who I assume hasn't gotten any in a while, sees this woman in a drunken state vomiting in an alleyway, and she's so drunk that she doesn't really know who Freddie is.
Let's get laid. Ooh, let's. Yeah, let's.
But he takes her back to his place being a pile of tires with a car door for a front door. And they go in, and he says, one of my favorite lines is, as they're going into the door, she says, I want that rough stuff. I want you all the way in me. And he says, we're gonna get into some vaginal products. So they...
Okay. Where are we?
We're gonna get into some vaginal products.
Then the following sequence is shot very well and is genuinely scary. It is a nightmare sequence where all of the junkyard inhabitants, all of Bronson's men, slowly begin to, they're hearing the sounds of sex.
And it looks like a zombie movie.
It does, because they even have them move in a certain way. One guy, he looks like a rat. he does this on the hood of a car with his fingers. And so everybody, and there's a lot of smoke, there's fog machines, and everything's lit blue.
Yeah.
Got the lights coming from the spaces in the tires.
Yeah, that's the shot I always remember.
Yeah.
Is the light coming through those little gaps in the tires.
Oh, it's brilliant. And so then they start to one by one pull the tire walls down and reach through, like a Romero film.
Yeah.
The zombie men reach through and grab this woman and pull her through the opening in the tire wall and then go have their way with her.
But it's not presented, like if it were going back to Trauma again, if it's Trauma, they'd try and add like wacky jokes to it and make it like, look how offensive we're being, blah. And this, it's presented horrifically. And it's also like, like making it like a zombie movie. It's almost like impressionistic. It's not dwelling on like the grosser aspects of what's happening.
No.
But it is letting you know that even if you kind of like these characters to a certain degree, this is a dangerous
They're dangerous.
place. Yeah.
Well, I think rewatching this film now, because that was always a weird part in the movie for me, even when I was younger. It was like, oh, this is gross. And they try to buffer it. The next day, R.L. Ryan, who runs the junkyard, finds her discarded body near the river and decides to have sex with it.
Yeah.
In a hilarious scene. We don't see it.
We don't see it, but his like the way his dialogue and stuff in the file, that's again going into that where it's a little too silly for what the rest of the movie is.
Yes, I think maybe they felt like they had to, we got to bring some comedy to this, but they're kind of making light of this gang rape,
There were layers of semen inside her body. It was a scum from the junkyard.
Can you tell whose semen is whose?
Yeah, but they won't. But the third from the last had syphilis.
But I think that scene is important because it sets up the reason why Nick Duran wants to put a hit out on whoever killed his girl.
Yeah.
Now, I thought, and also it makes those homeless guys seem dangerous, was what you were saying. There's a real threat there.
Yeah.
But either way, that sequence in the junkyard informs the rest of the story because that's why, you could have probably had something else happen. She could have just gotten murdered, you didn't have to have that, but it is terrifying.
Suck my dick.
Suck your own dick, you schmuck.
But this movie in the 80s often played as a double feature with another film that was distributed by Troma. It wasn't made by Troma, but they put it out. And it was Buddy Giovinazzo's film Combat Shock.
Combat Shock, an explosive film you'll never forget. Combat Shock.
Which is the much darker, more dour, less fun aspect of Vietnam.
No fun.
There's no fun at all
It's
to be
the
had.
polar opposite of Street Trash. Just as like kind of grimy,
yes,
but not fun.
Yeah, almost shot in the same areas.
Yeah.
In New York. A lot of this was in like Greenpoint. But I think as a double feature, it does make a lot of sense. I think they work together. My thought was always that character that Buddy Giovinazzo's brother plays the main character in Combat Shock. And I always imagined that maybe he was the father. If he was a little bit older, he could have been the father of Freddie and Kevin.
It's a shared cinematic universe.
Yes. But it turns out there's one interesting aspect of Street Trash that did not make it into the final film or was cut out of the final film. And that was the story thread that Bronson, it turns out, is actually the father of Freddie and Kevin.
This would be revealed first by seeing the toad amulet that Fred wears, and then by seeing the toad symbol tattooed on Bronson's arm at the end, so that Fred realizes at the last moment that it's his father.
Meet your ancestors.
And they basically cut around all the stuff that had to do with the medallion and the revelation of him being the father. But that was something that they had tried out.
Interesting.
Which seems too convoluted and just one thing too many for this.
Well, yeah, it seems very like almost corny movie cliche thing.
Yes.
And avoiding that and having him, be unrelated, that they just happen to be living in the same.
It's a better idea.
Yeah.
I wasn't too big on when I heard they were making a sequel or a remake.
It's like a soft reboot. they do make mention of the events in New York.
And
So
it's called Tenafly Viper.
Yeah,
That's the name of the chemical. But it takes place in Australia?
It was shot in South Africa.
South Africa. Oh, okay.
2024, 2023. Very recent movie. It's just called Street Trash.
Well, that's my other problem.
Yeah.
Just like Halloween and all these other movies, they decided to just call it that.
Yeah.
Roy Frumkees, of course, was all too happy to be an executive producer.
Oh, sure.
I don't know how much money the movie made.
It's,
but,
yeah, you said you only watched like the first 20 minutes of it.
I couldn't do it.
Kind of what you're talking about, how you wish that the original movie builds up to more of like an all-out like feud.
Yes.
It does have that. It's like the bums versus the cops.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of social commentary going on, but it is playing up my least favorite aspects of the original, which is the kind of sillier stuff.
Yeah.
The random stuff. One of the homeless men in the movie has like an imaginary friend and it's a little puppet character. It feels like something that would not work in the original movie. So not a horrible movie, but it does play up the more self-aware about the campier aspects, which always turns me off.
Well, it's of a time. It's a thing, you know, and it's shot, I know the new one was shot on 35. You know, they always, whenever they start touting that stuff, I get suspicious because it's like, who else gives a shit about that except for us? Like, even I don't give a shit when they're like, well, like Force Awakens, you know, well, it's shot on 35 with practical puppets. I'm like, yeah, but is it good?
Yeah.
Is it good? They're like, well, we have slime effects and it's shot on 35. Yeah, but.
That's the other thing about the new one. Somehow, even though it's a modern movie, the melting effects are so much worse than the ones in the original film.
They're worse. There's an opening, this is where I tapped out. There was an opening sequence where they're using the drug on some guy strapped to a chair. And I just kind of, you know, they're doing all these effects and my reaction was, okay.
Yeah, they don't have an impact because they're not like crafted.
That's right.
There's not thought put into what is happening to the body.
Right.
It's just goop comes out.
I think my idea for a sequel, you would have to do it exactly as this film was made. Again, this was made in the mid-'80s by a bunch of art student kids.
Yes.
So you're not going to be able to replicate that. But you could. There are people out there I know that would want to make a film like this and, you know, out of love, as a labor of love. I would relocate it to Los Angeles, number one, because I live there and it looks like street trash, okay? And it's much scarier and seedier. I mean, Skid Row is a great place to shoot a sequel to Street Trash because there are incredible characters down there. But my idea was that either Freddie or his brother Kevin relocate to Los Angeles. They now live in LA because, you know, they're evading the law. Essentially, they killed Bronson at the end of the film.
Yeah.
They used was it like a helium tank?
It's like an air tank.
It's an air tank that they sent into the air somehow.
That is one complaint, is I wish they would have set that tank up earlier in the film.
I know.
Make some, it just kind of, they just stumble across
sort
it
of comes up. Kevin sees it, takes a rock, knocks the end of it off, but an amazing sequence.
Oh, sure, the effects are great.
It blows the force of it knocks Bronson's head clean off his body.
Yes.
The slow motion footage is fantastic. The fake Bronson head is incredibly made. And then there's one last moment where Bronson's decapitated head is on the ground and Wendy hops over the head.
Oh, yes.
And we see Bronson's eyes look up at her crotch. And then he smiles. And it's kind of nice knowing he got to finally see. Like, I mean, he finally got his wish.
Yeah.
I finally got to see Wendy's vagina, you know, the vagina. The upside down pussy, that's what Kevin calls it. You know, it's a sick joke. No, but that little smile, which not easy to pull off on an animatronic head for, you know, on a budget of nothing.
Sure.
But I thought that they probably still would be arrested for manslaughter. So they essentially killed him. So either Freddie or Kevin have now, it's years later, and they've opened up sort of a homeless shelter. I like the idea of them working at a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
But the henchmen of Bronson have found him and they're going to get their revenge, or the cops have found him, or something.
Yeah.
I just like a softer opener to the film of like, and get the real Freddie to come back and play that guy. He's clean now, and that was his life back then. But the past has come to catch up with him.
Trying to help out people that were in a position he used to be in.
Yeah, street trash, Los Angeles. But you'd have to go all the way. You again, this was not made by a studio. This was just made by students.
And it wasn't made by like schlock, low-budget filmmakers just trying to make a quick buck off of a horror movie, which there was tons of those, too.
This was Jim's short film. This was his first film. I'm just going to make it into a film.
Mm-hmm.
I made this 10-minute film, 15-minute film, turned into this film. And that's why it works.
Yeah.
Fucking little street trash!
I think of the phrase, that didn't age well. And that really bothers me, because when you're watching these kind of films or reading a book or a painting, it's a record of that moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who you are really when you're 20 years old and you're making a film. The fact that this guy made a film at 20 or 21 is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, in this moment, at that time with those artists, you know, you don't know how your life is going to unfold. So, I don't know him, you know, he has his own reasons and I get it, but I think he should be proud of the film.
Yeah, and you can do it like a low-budget trash movie like this, go on to work on more mainstream movies and still be proud of your earlier work. Look at James Gunn. He still puts Lloyd Kaufman in all of his films, and he's making Superman movies.
It's exciting. It's of a time. It's shot on film. You have to appreciate how difficult it was to even do that.
Sure.
And now you see like 28 years later, which is also very exciting because it's shot predominantly on an iPhone, yes, with multi-million-dollar lenses attached, but still, it goes back to what Coppola said many, many years ago. Somewhere there's going to be, it was a terrible Coppola.
Was that Arnold?
Let's start somewhere, cut all that out. No, please, no. It goes back to what Coppola said years ago about, you know, there's going to be some little fat girl somewhere in Ohio that's going to make a movie with her video camera. I'm paraphrasing, but he made that sort of comment.
I don't think he specified that the girl would be fat.
He did.
Oh, he did?
He did.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
No, he really did. Ohio, yeah.
Well, that didn't age well.
Hey, you going to drink that? Oh my God. Asparagus?
How you doing, Matt? Tony Darrow, but to you, it's Nicky Duran from Street Trash. Wow, I can't believe you go back that far with me. God bless you. I know you're battling cancer, and it's tough, you're not doing that well, and your best friend Josh asked me to talk to you about it. You know, I had stage 4 cancer too. I had a malignant melanoma, and I also had melanoma on my foot, which wasn't stage 4, but I know what it's all about. I know how frightened I was, and I'm sure you feel the same way now. Listen to me, my friend. Prayer. Pray in the morning, pray in the afternoon, and pray at night. I go to church a lot. I go probably once a day. Of course, can't go now because the churches are closed. But you pray. I pray to St. Anthony. I don't know what religion you are, but whatever it is, it's going to make you feel better and stronger. God bless you, my friend. I'm thinking of you.